What's up, everybody? It's Andrew with Blue Heaven TV. I wish I could say coming to you live, but let's be honest, 3 a.m. was a little rough, so we didn't do live. But want to jump on today, talk all things first game of the series. Let's get into it.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This is my city, yeah, this is my team.
So normally I'm hanging out with the boys in the studio, but I'm kind of solo today. Javen's in California, Brandon's doing his thing, been in LA, killing it for us. But I just wanted to jump on and talk a little bit about game one of the series with the Cubs to kick off the year. We had the two exhibition games, which were amazing. Let's be honest, the sights and sounds of Tokyo, I've never wanted to be in Tokyo more in my entire life. That's a different story. But the reality of it is, this has been so amazing. Not only just from the perspective of the Dodgers, but the influence that you see of Major League Baseball, the culture, and you see how the Japanese players are really pushing the limits of the game and bringing so much of their own flair to the game. So seeing those two exhibition games were amazing. But let's talk game one. First and foremost, the boys had some drip coming into game. Now, Shohei, low key, the New Balance shoes that he's launching, kind of dope, not going to lie. But our boy Yoshi, anybody else see his watch? Can't wait to see how the World Series ring compares to the boys' bling that he was rocking today. But the reality of it is, they came ready. We were down, 2/3 of our stars. Obviously, Mookie's been dealing with an illness. We hope Mookie is able to recover quickly. Hope to see him in the series against the Tigers to open, the season here in LA. Freddie was a late game scratch, so kind of a bummer to see that. But really, the health is the most important thing. Because as we've talked about in other episodes, the reality of it is, man, the depth of the team is ridiculous. So we are able to slide guys around. Kike got the start at first. Pages in center field. I mean, our boy James Outman making the 26-man roster, headed to Japan, foreseeably going to be in the opening day roster as well here in LA. So excited to see that. Shohei and Yoshi talked about it in the press conference after the game, that their nerves were high. And you could kind of tell, Yoshi was throwing really hard, but he looked great. His stuff was nasty. I think he broke like 4 or 5 bats with that, cut fastball, but it was amazing to see. And really it goes to show the influence of the culture, not just of baseball, but the commitment to excellence that we see that the Dodgers, really put into everything. And we see that translate into going after and finding the talent that represents that, right? Finding the talent that's dedicated to winning, finding the right ways to win, structuring the deal so we can build for now and for the future. And these are the things, we've talked about a few different times in a couple of other episodes. But the reality of it is, we're starting to see it on the field. We got to see Tanner Scott, make his debut to close out the game. He looked good. Our boy JT, Dodgers legend. Still hard to see him, not in Dodger blue, but it was great to see him up in the ninth. All of these things are happening that just show the growth of the game. The way that Major League Baseball is influencing culture around the world, the amount of young people that were engaged, that were excited to be there. We see that all the time. And the changes in the game, the speed in which it's going and moving now, it is awesome. It was such a great show. Not only was it just a great game, good win for the boys, but the reality of it was, it's much more than just at bats and hits and things like that. We see so many other things in play. The importance of building culture, not only just for a baseball organization, but for your personal brand, your business brand. All of these things are massively important. making sure you have right leadership in places. Andrew Friedman, the Guggenheim Group, Magic Johnson, all of these people are built around winning, right? And that's what we see happening. That's what gets us excited as a Dodger fans, but also as entrepreneurs, as people who are developing, companies and brands and things like that. We take so much inspiration from groups that do it right. And we just happen to be massive fans of a sports organization that does it right. And so this was such a cool thing to see. So excited to see how everything is playing out on the field. You know, Andy Pajes looks so good. You know, batting in that ninth spot, setting up Shohei a couple of different times to get the our 4 runs that we got today. The patience at the plate, all of those things. Just it looks good. Our depth, our strategy of how to use our pitchers in the right way. All of these things are just lending to a great season. Super excited for what's going to happen to start the series against Detroit. So I got to take a nap. I'm gonna be honest. I was watching the game. 3 a.m. came quick, but it was a great game. The vibe, everything was amazing. Like I said, really wish I was there. So, anybody want to throw some airplane tickets towards me for next year, wherever we might go, uh, always get at your boy. But as always, I'm Andrew with Blue Heaven TV. Make sure you like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Man, we're so excited for everybody that is supporting us already. Can't wait to talk about the game tomorrow. Possibly going to do a live stream. Not sure. We'll see how that goes. But super excited to see Roki. So as always, I'm Andrew with Blue Heaven TV. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
You know what I mean?